Welcome back. All right, so this board was all put together, and I was all set to go, and then a trade took place. So we'll start with the trade at the bottom of the board. Reilly Smith is apparently headed to the Pittsburgh Penguins, this being broken by Kevin Weeks, and then being confirmed by David Pagnotta. A third-round pick is going to Vegas. I assume a third-round pick in this draft. Reilly Smith has a $5 million cap hit until 2025. I have talked about this for, it has to be 2 years now, where I've looked at Vegas's cap situation and said, Smith might end up being the guy who ends up leaving. And so Reilly Smith, after a long time as a Vegas Golden Knight, is now headed to Pittsburgh. He will help the Penguins out. They needed a little bit of scoring depth. Kyle Dubas doing some work there. And we'll see. And again, the $5 million cap hit, I would think the whole thing going towards Pittsburgh. But yeah, I guess we'll see how things go for the Vegas Golden Knights this coming season, what they do with that $5 million in cap savings. And I know that there's a lot of names out there that are getting moved right now for draft picks and people are confused. That is how expensive it is when you're looking at getting rid of a player that's still got some term left on their contract. GMs just don't want it. They don't want it. So, at any rate, Pittsburgh picks up Reilly Smith. We'll see how things go for him in Pittsburgh. Now, into the rumor mill we go. This one, though, has some legs to it. Milan Lucic, the rumor's out there that he will be headed to Boston on July the 1st. He, of course, played in Boston before. We know this. And when he was traded from Boston to LA as a Bruins fan, I agreed with it. And right now, if they bring him back on a cheap contract, and the rumor is it could be in the 900 grand region, I think that's fine. I think on the fourth line, I think Lucic is fine. And so, yeah, we'll see how things go for him in his return to Boston, should that come to pass. This was kind of funny, and I had to talk about this in the video. If you haven't seen the video of, man on the street in Nashville, and they just happened to interview Kyle Davidson. And my favorite part was when the interviewer asks Kyle Davidson, how many NHLers can you name in 20 seconds? And he says Gretzky, Lemieux, and then it's all Blackhawks, both past and present. I thought it was really funny. And when he was asked on a scale of 1 to 10 how much he knows about the NHL, and his answer was 4. Everything about it was really entertaining because, again, the guy interviewing him did not realize he was interviewing the general manager of the Chicago Blackhawks. I guarantee he would have asked different questions rather than, how many NHLers can you name? That's not a question I would ask Kyle Davidson. So that was funny, and I thought I'd throw that into this video. Canucks news. It looks like Ethan Bear could end up becoming a UFA. There's been a lot of discussion about whether or not they're going to qualify him, whether or not they're going to sign him. Rick Dhaliwal reporting that there hasn't been a lot of discussions between the team and the player, which would indicate he may very well end up not getting a qualifying offer and end up going to market. So the deadline for qualifying offers is on Friday. Free agency's on Saturday. So keep a look at things around the NHL on Friday. Things could get crazy, and the free agent market could all of a sudden garner a little more interest if some of those restricted free agents become unrestricted free agents instead. Reports are out there that Vancouver is interested in Ian Cole, but let's be honest. There's reports they're interested in Soucy, that they're interested in Dumba, they're interested in Cole. Basically, Vancouver's interested in finding themselves a defense in the offseason. Their plan is to get back into the playoffs, and they're going to have to beef up that blue line in order to do it, as well as figure out what they're going to do when it comes to the backup position for next year. Is it going to be Seelovs? Are they going to look for somebody else? We'll see. Columbus, the reason for the Blue Jackets jersey in this one, it's apparently a 2-year deal for Mike Babcock as the coach. It will be announced on Saturday. They cannot officially hire him yet, but he will be hired on Saturday. It's a 2-year deal, reportedly worth $8 million in total, so $4 million a year for Babcock to be the new head coach for the Columbus Blue Jackets. I know there's people who aren't all that happy with Babcock coming back. Either way, to me, I don't know whether this is going to help Columbus. Maybe it helps them in the short term. But at the very least, Columbus is looking to get back into the hunt for the playoffs this year, as made evident by them being pretty aggressive on the trade market a couple weeks back. We'll see if they're aggressive at the draft table over the next couple of days as well. Jaro Halak. He's a pending UFA out of the New York Rangers, and he's saying he's not retiring. He has every intention of coming back for at least another year. We'll see what the interest is like for Halak and which teams end up making offers. There are definitely teams in the NHL that could use another goaltender. And Halak, I thought this year with the Rangers, had a much better season than his previous years with Boston and Vancouver. So hopefully Halak can find a good destination, and maybe he completes my triumvirate and ends up in Dallas. I'm not sure how that works since Dallas already has Wedgwood and Ottinger, but I'm just throwing that out there. So Tampa Bay. So we know they traded Ross Colton. And their general manager is saying that he would like to keep both Killorn and Jeannot. Killorn, the interest is mutual. Alex Killorn does not want to leave the Tampa Bay Lightning. They want to hold on to him. The question is, do they have the cap space to make it work? So for Tampa Bay, a team that I think the loss of some of that depth is part of the reason why they end up getting eliminated in the first round this year. There are a lot of reasons, of course, but I think that's part of it. It was something I talked about during the season. They just didn't have that same feel from their third and fourth lines that they had in previous years. So keeping Killorn, finding a way to hold on to Jeannot, and hoping that a season where he's been in with Tampa Bay right from training camp and all the way through, maybe we see something better out of Jeannot than we did after that trade from Nashville. And considering how many assets they gave up to get Tanner Jeannot, they kind of have to hold on to him, don't they? Because if they just let him go, that's a lot of assets for a rental. That's a ton of assets for a rental. Now, the New Jersey Devils, who of course got their house cleaning done by picking up Toffoli, by re-signing Meyer. Tom Fitzgerald basically confirming what we all kind of knew. He is now concerned about re-signing any restricted free agents they have, but Graves, Tatar, and Wood are all headed to the UFA market. I think Graves will probably end up being in some demand. Tatar's a veteran. He could score 20 goals in the right situation next year. He was snake-bit this year in New Jersey. Absolutely snake-bit. And, of course, Wood, it might be time to move on for him. We'll see what kind of offers are out there. His year was kind of a down one, especially in the playoffs, of course. He had some struggles there, so we'll see what kind of offers are out there for Wood. On the New York Islanders front, Semyon Varlamov, it looks like, will be staying with the New York Islanders. It is going to be apparently a 2-year extension, so maybe he's been working the phones a little bit, or maybe he just looks at his situation, at his age, and says, you know what, I'm happy to stay with the Islanders for another couple of seasons. Josh Bailey's on the trade market. Bailey, it's going to be hard to move, and I looked at it. You can go to Cap Friendly. So for people who want to know about like buyouts, go to Cap Friendly, look up any player you want, and hit the buyout contract button. It's right over top of what they're making, buyout contract. And you can see very quickly which contracts are team-friendly to buy out. And honestly, Bailey has 1 year left on his contract at a $5 million cap hit. And if they did buy it out, and that is obviously going to be one of the options they have, try to trade him, see if anybody wants to take on some of that contract. But buying him out, honestly, does not penalize the Islanders that much. So I do expect Bailey to probably get bought out, because this is a team that's going to be looking to make the playoffs next year. They want to be contenders, and so Bailey may end up being bought out as a result. Remember, buyouts are, the deadline for them is on Friday as well. This is a very busy week. It is all squashed into a short period, so we have the draft today and tomorrow. Then on Friday, you have the deadline for RFAs and for buyouts, and then Saturday, it's the free agent frenzy. So very, very busy time indeed. And of course, we'll have the live stream on this channel for the first round of the draft. We will have the live stream tomorrow for the 2nd through 7th rounds of the draft. And then on Saturday, we will have a live stream for Free Agent Frenzy as well on Canada Day. So I look forward to, Canadaing it up a little bit. Canada can be a verb, why not? But also, I want to throw out there too. So I've had problems with my cable box in here because a rabbit chewed through the cord. Rabbits do chew through cords. And she didn't even mean to. She just was trying to move it. And yeah, teeth are sharp. And so trying to get that cord replaced. TELUS. Yeah, they said they'd send me another box. And it's like, I just need the power cord. So at any rate, I had to switch the power cord from the one in our rec room over to the one in here. So the live stream will be from here. I was debating about whether or not to have it in the rec room or in here. Yvonne would prefer to have it in here, so we will. I've got the 4x2 board ready to go, so it's a foot wider, and we'll do our best to make sure everybody can see it. That's always a discussion during the live streams, as well as people saying, I can't see the board and who got taken where. But all of the discussion over who's going to get taken where will be done soon. And so we'll see which guys are surprisingly taken early, which guys are surprisingly dropped down in the draft. So if you want to get ahead on that and say, you know what, I think this guy's going to get taken earlier than expected, throw it in the comment section below, and you can come back in a few hours' time and say, see? Or you can come back in a few hours' time and try editing it, but we can tell if you edited your comments. So keep that in mind. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.